morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for listening to Bayloric Boxing TV channel. I have with me the manager of Dave, the White Rhino Allen, Stefy Ball. Stefy, how are you?
Well, I'm good, thank you. Are you?
I'm great. I hear that you've got that accent there. Is that from the Doncaster way as well?
Yeah, we're from. I live in a little village in between Doncaster and Rotherham called Conisbrough. That's where David's actually from. So we are from the same village. So yeah, we're famous for the Conisbrough Castle.
Okay, well, so for those people who don't know who you are, Stefy, can you just give us a brief overview as to who you are?
Yeah, well, my name's Stefy Bull. I'm currently managing David Allen as well as training David, but I'm a former professional fighter myself. I've been a professional boxer since 1995 when I was only 17-year-old. I was the youngest fighter in Britain. At 19-year-old as a fighter, I fought Dean Pithy in the biggest show ever to be held in Europe on the full Monty bill in 97 on 24 days notice for the WBO Intercontinental title. I've had a good pro career. I boxed Amir Khan, won a number of area titles, boxed for the WBF world title, English titles, you name it. I've been around the block as a fighter. Did a good 15 years as a fighter. Then I went into training fighters in 2009, where I found myself co-training Jamie McDonnell. Well, we'll all know Jamie McDonnell is the reigning WBA champion of the world. I co-trained Jamie. I wasn't the head trainer, I was a co-trainer where I learnt my trade, but I co-trained Jamie right up to him winning the IBF world title. So we won the British, Commonwealth, European, and obviously the IBF world title. And then Jamie moved on and worked for a different gym. And then in 2010 I started managing fighters, and that's where I come across signing Jamie's identical twin, Gavin McDonnell. So I managed the current European champion, Gavin McDonnell, former British champion and world ranked by the IBF, WBO and the WBC, all in the top 10 now. So I'm Gavin McDonnell's manager. And when I started managing Gavin, I ended up promoting sometime after, about 2011 I've been promoting, because I got that many fighters. So as well as David Allen, I managed Gavin McDonnell, like I say, reigning European champion. He's chief support to this weekend's bill on Sky Sports, and he has a big contract with Matchroom Boxing. I also manage Jason Cunningham, the Commonwealth Bantamweight champion, who fought Kal Yafai last week on Sky Sports. I manage a number of fighters who have had great opportunities. Adam Dinsdale from London, who's fought Derry Matthews for the WBA. He also fought Stephen Orman for the WBO. I've got the reigning English super featherweight champion, Andy Townend, who's just broke into the European rankings. Robbie Barrett, Central Area champion. I manage a good 15 fighters. I have my own gym here in Mexborough, which is a big old gym. So I'm very busy. So basically, I'm 38 years young at the moment, and I am currently managing professional fighters, training professional fighters, and promoting professional boxing. So I'm a very busy man.
You know a bit about the sport then, don't you?
Yes, I've been in this game for a 38-year-old man. I've been in this game 22 years, and before this I had 6 years amateur boxing where I boxed for England, shared the ring, beat some great fighters in the amateurs such as Jason Bull, sharing the ring with great fighters, Isham Pickering, it goes on and on. So yeah, I've been to a couple of junior ABA finals and all that kind of stuff when I was a young man. Like I say, boxed for England versus Ireland on 2 occasions. Had 44 amateur fights, winning 42 amateur fights, winning 34, and I had about 40 pro fights, losing 7. So yeah, we're a bit of a boxing fanatic really, but yeah, doing well. Love what I do.
Wow. When you said the full Monty, boy, my mind kind of went back, and I started thinking about the Spice Boy, started thinking about Prince Nazim Hamid, Chris Eubank, Joe Kawasaki.
Yeah, and John Joe Irwin versus Paul Ingle. I actually had a £100 ringside seat because John Joe and myself were from the same gym. We were gym pals, and that's why we're going there. And I got the call the day before to fight Dean Piffy for this WBO title. So the day before, I actually found out about the fight. Crazy story. I mean, that's something different. I mean, that's a story in itself. But to be in a ring and in the same dressing room as Chris Eubanks when he was fighting Carl Zagin, then just think this weekend I'm going to be there with Gavin McDonnell in the same arena, in the same ring, and this time Gavin McDonnell's chief, his son. Great story, really. Great story.
We've got lots to talk about, Stefy, and I tell you what, you'll have to do a separate interview just on your career alone.
Yeah. I've been around and been in some good fights as a fighter myself, and a few down nights, but a lot of glory years. But yeah, I'm proud of what I've done. I was never the best fighter, but one thing I learned out of boxing is I believe that I learned how to do things correct and how to do not to do things. And I'm having a successful career. Obviously, I've single-handedly brung Gavin McDonnell had not had an amateur fight and then I brung him through from no amateur experience, single-handedly promoted him by myself at Doncaster Dome, brung him through from nothing to area champions, and I've delivered British title eliminators, final eliminators, all at Doncaster Dome myself, and then took him to a deal to Matchroom. So very proud of the work I've done with Gavin.
That's fantastic stuff. I mean, you've done a lot of work there, and I think the thing is, a lot of boxing fans don't really look into things like that. They just see the finished product, and then
I mean, how boxing works. Everybody watches boxing on TV, and they think that's all. That's what they're seeing. But there's a lot more to boxing. I mean, there's other people like myself. You say I'm not in the limelight. I don't manage. I've got a selected. I've got 2 handfuls of fighters that I manage and look after, and I can give these fighters the all. There's a lot of managers out there that's managing 60 fighters. But you tell me, what can you do for 60 fighters? It's, I say fine, I'm managing around 15 fighters, 10 to 15, and I can give, they're like family to me. I can give them everything. I work very hard to deliver everything, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into small or boxing, and like I say, I've got proven. I mean, Andy Townend was from the amateurs, and I've delivered him English titles under the radar, and he's just boxed on the last guy showing leads on the chief support to Josh Warrington and won by knockout. And I'm excited for this journey I've got with David now. I can channel everything and invest my time, money and everything else into David, because I strongly believe that David's the real deal and we're going to go all the way.
You've just led me into that beautifully, Stefy. As you know, Bayloric TV and the White Rhino have had many interviews. And,
yeah. You can't half talk, can he, either? He's the only man that I know that can outbeat me when it comes to talking. So when I'm with him, I just keep my gob shut because he's the man.
But that's good. At least you've got a fighter there that you won't have to worry about promoting too much. He can talk for himself.
Exactly.
So he'd be a pleasure, I'm sure, to work with. Now let's talk a little bit more. We've got to go back in time a bit, because you weren't originally his manager, were you, Stefy?
No, I wasn't his manager until recently. No.
Okay, so because I know he was with Dennis Hobson before. How did that change from where he was with Dennis Hobson to you? How did that sort of transition period go?
Well, basically, I've known David since I'm a family friend. I've known David since he was a baby. His dad's a well-respected professional fighter. I'm very good friends with his dad. When I was a young man, his dad had come down to the gym when I was a young amateur and helped us out and done a bits and bobs with me over the years. So I know David on a very personal level, and so I've known him a long time, and I've always known what he's capable of and things like that. So I think David's the kind of person that wanted to do things his way. You've got to remember, when David turned over, I was just a trainer at the time and just started managing. So Gavin McDonnell had not even come to fruition by then. But his manager, Dennis Hobson, obviously is the proven track record for what he's done with fighters. I mean, Dennis has been a great manager over the years. Mm-hmm. Jamie McDonnell and Clinton Woods, to name a few, and had a big stable. So I can imagine that's where David wanted to go. So obviously he decided to go and turn pro with Dennis Hobson. And for some reason or another, that's kind of not worked out. I mean, David's the kind of person that wants to do his own thing and be his own man, and he's done things his way. But I think David's finally realised the work. I've got a proven track record for what I've done or what I'm doing with my fighters. There's no doubt about that. That's one thing you can't take away what I do. And David, like I say, knowing David personally, it's got to a time where we now spend a lot of time around each other. And he understands all this, and the kind of things that I do as a trainer, he's enjoying what I do. And he comes into the gym, he's got a smile on his face, and he won't be in this shape if he didn't enjoy it. And like I say, it's going from strength to strength, and I'm really excited about the journey that we've got together. Really excited.
I want to talk about, obviously, now you've had the transition, you're working together now. I want to talk about this pullout from his opponent, Adam Machard.
Yeah, that's correct. That was
now, from what I heard, it was a back injury. It was a few days' notice of he pulled out. And could you talk us through that a bit more? Because you were the one who I believe got the telephone call. Well,
basically, I mean, I didn't get the telephone call. I got sent a Facebook status. So this is how unprofessional and how things work. But I got sent a Facebook. So I'm not friends with these people on Facebook. But somebody screenshot his Facebook status about he's out of the fight at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd just come in the gym. It were 8:30, and he's got it on Facebook. So I've been sent this message, and I didn't want to phone David and disturb David and let him have a lack of night's sleep. So I kept it under myself, and I sent messages out saying to his manager and trainer and things, and I got no response. And then I get a response at 10 o'clock at night saying, yes, it's true. He's done something to his disc. And then I get a phone call 10 minutes later off David under distress and under panic saying, have you seen this? Have you heard this? And, you know, David's kind of bollocking me as if it's me that's pulled out. That's how frustrated he was. So I said, look, David, there's nothing we can do. You try and get a good night's sleep and leave this to me. So, really, I'd not really had a phone call, no explanation. And then I get a phone call from the guy who trains him the next day at dinner time to say, yeah, he's out. But very unprofessional not to get a phone call straight away when this is a big fight, title fight, going out live on TV. And to see it on Facebook, you know, very unprofessional if you ask me. But, you know, the guy may well be genuinely injured. I mean, hopefully he is genuinely injured, and I hope he gets better soon. But at the same time, it's probably not helped. People are seeing the shape David's in on Facebook and Twitter and things, and maybe it could be worrying times, itchy feet. I don't know, but you know what's done's done. David will now move forward, and I don't know what will happen with that young man's career, and all the best to him. But my charge is in the past now, so it's a matter of what's happening in the future.
So there are some questions to ask. And now, tell me the process that you took to move from Adam Machard to now the opponent you've got now, Fabrice Oriang. Am I right there?
Yeah, that's correct.
So tell me the process of what has to go into finding a guy at 3 days' notice.
Well, it's very hard, obviously. I'm on the phones continually saying non-stop, trying to get some out. But, I mean, I've got to really, really say thank you to Matchroom Boxing because they pulled this one out of the bag and done us a favour and bringing this Frenchman on. I know it won't be cheap, but at the same time, they're absolutely delighted that David's taking this challenge on at such short notice because this French guy is ranked number 4 in France. He's a former French champion. He's actually won the WBF world title in the past, and he's got wins over good, solid professional fighters. So, and he's also a southpaw, totally opposite to everything we've been training off. So, David's got all this to take on board in just a short phase. David's, you know, is in shape, and I think David's ready for anyone. So, you know, we're not going to lose any sleep. It's just all about the excitement of getting in and getting on with the job now.
So now, between now and fight time, in your experience, what you've had a change of opponent. I'm sure in your career you've had a change of opponent. What goes through a fighter's mind, and how do you prepare your mind to prepare for another opponent that you haven't really complete opposites? Tall guy to a lot shorter guy.
Well,
you know,
this kind of thing that's happened. This is the difference with what you can call a composed. This is a real fighter will get on with the job. So it's all about the mental attitude. A lesser fighter will be worried and stressed. They're the kind of fighters that I ain't going to come through at this level. If David's dreaming of being British champion and going on to fight you like Anthony Joshua, that's his ultimate goal. If we're losing like a sleep against, if David's losing like a sleep against this kind of opposition that's coming in at weekend, then you can forget about fighting people like Anthony Joshua. So it's all about ambition. If you've got a fighter that's got real ambition and wants to fight, then they won't be having any sleepless nights or stress about this level of fighting. They'll just crack on with it. Now, if you've got a fighter that's worrying, they're the fighter that's going to really struggle at higher levels. So it's as simple as that, really, if you're going to put it that way.
Okay. Peter Fury, James El-Bashir. You know, these are two respected trainers who've got a lot of high praise for the Rhino. What are your thoughts on the Rhino?
An in-shape David Allen is the real deal. It's a real pleasure for me to be working with David. I'm really excited. He's put that little bit of drive extra into what I do. But I strongly believe that David Allen can be British champion next year, within 12 months, without a doubt. Within 18 months, it's my job to keep him busy. But an in-shape David Allen behind Fury and Joshua is the best heavyweight in Britain. Now, in 18 months, a busy, active David Allen could well be competing with them kind of fighters. Now, we're not saying at the minute. People are getting confused when I tell them I've got a fighter that's capable of beating Anthony Joshua. I'm not meaning tomorrow or the day after. We've got a plan. It's about being busy, one stage at a time. This is David's second fight this year. He'll be boxing again in November. That's his third time. And he will be boxing at least 4 or 5 times next year. Hopefully a British title fight. But I am 100% a fit David Allen, and a dedicated David Allen is the real deal and can go all the way.
Now, David sparred with the likes of Klitschko and Fury and Spilka. You know, he's done a lot of sparring with a lot of good fighters. And, of course, Eddie Chambers. What do you take away knowing that your fighter's gone in there and has done well against those type of fighters? How does that make you feel?
Obviously, it's exciting to hear that David's been in, but obviously at the same time that David's been in with them kind of fighters. But I've been around this game long enough to know that smart sparring means nothing. So David could be going on. I could watch David level Klitschko in sparring 10 times out of 10. That don't mean anything, does it, in sparring? Mm-hmm. It don't mean anything, but he's got the experience now. What it's gave David is the confidence, which is a good thing, and it's gave him the experience. But it's what happens on fight night. And it's as simple as that. And it's my job to get David out of this mentality of a sparring partner and make him believe, which he is doing, that he's the real deal. It's not about who he's sparring with, it's about what you're doing on fight night. And come Saturday night, David's got a chance to show everybody what he can do on fight night. When I was a fighter, I was travelling up and down country sparring with people and all that. We could name drop all day, but it don't mean anything. And that's what David's picked up there, is the experience, and he knows that. And it's now time for us to crack on and deliver what David's about. So it's very exciting that David's been in with them names, sparring, but I want David to realise that he ain't a sparring partner. He's the one. He's the one, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Okay. Talking about David's opponent, what threat does he bring to David Allen come fight night?
Well, one, David's never boxed a southpaw, so he's going to bring big, awkward, and David's attitude is, well, it's all the same, innit? I'll just get in and I'll do what I do. But when you're in there, it isn't saying, trust me. I mean, I was a southpaw myself, and southpaws can be very awkward, especially when you never boxed with him. But this is it. We'll find out how David's going to adapt. The kid's a big heavyweight, a big 17-stone heavyweight, probably more. In his last fight, he challenged for the French title, so he'll be very fit. And David's made me aware that he's got a kickboxing world title fight in 3 weeks, so he'll be fit. So, it's totally opposite to what we've been working on. A big, tall, orthodox. Now we've got a 6'2" southpaw that's quite game. and a respected heavyweight that's got a few good wins on his record. So yeah, I am expecting a tough night, but at the same time, I'm expecting my man to deliver.
Okay. So where does this... He wins this fight, David Allen. He was going to fight Machado before. This is, in David's own words, a much better fight than Adam Machado. Now,
yeah, that's correct.
Now, to then put in a limelight on Sky Sports, wins this fight. What do you do then as a manager? Should David be victorious, what do you do as a manager now to rein him in so that he's only had he would only have had 9 fights by then? What do you do to rein him in and guide him through to the next level, which will either it will be going to fight for the area title or an English title? What do you do in between that time? Because he would have fought with an opponent that is better than the guy who would have fought for the area title. So do you go back and visit the area title and reschedule against Adam Machado later on in this year? Or...
What my plan is with David is just basically keep momentum and keep him moving. Obviously, you see, this kind of opponent, I couldn't afford to bring this fighter to Doncaster Dome without any financial backing, because obviously it'd be a very expensive.
Right.
But so it's a great opportunity, like you just said, for David to go on live TV and box a very credible opponent in front of everyone. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get the job done Saturday night, look good, and then it's my job to keep the momentum going, keep David busy, and it's not just what we're doing in the ring on fight night, it's what we're doing in the gym, learning, working on things, working together. David is starting to respect what I do and listening to what I do and having trust. He was listening to me when we were out in Spain for weeks sparring. He was understanding what I was telling him and trying things, and it worked. And you could see the smile on his face because he's listening to me, and you can see it was working what he was being told, and it makes you feel good seeing him do that. So yeah, it's not just about this fight's are great for his profile. And after this, it's just about keeping the momentum going, keeping him busy, keeping the momentum going. Hopefully he does a good job, and Matchroom are going to have us back or be willing to work with us again. That's basically where we're at.
Stefy, well, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. Like I said, we need to do an interview separately just about you.
No problem.
But thank you so much. How do people contact you, Stefy?
How do people contact them? Well, I'm on Facebook as Stefy Bull, and obviously on Twitter as Stefy Bull. So, if they want to give us a follow and get to know more about my fighters and things, you're more than welcome to give us a follow, and let's make friends.
Thank you so much, Stefy.
No problem, sir.